Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to change out your 6-speed manual JK transmission fluid. You're going to need a 14mm Allen key and a 17. Now, can't really get in there with one of these, the 17, and their tool to buy it to do it's like 30 bucks. So what you can do is go up to Harbor Freight. Just do what I did because I didn't even have a 14 Allen key set. Just buy their little $13 or $20, whatever it was, Allen key set drivers, 1/2 inch. Take a bolt that fits in the bottom there, and this can pound right out. And now you have a 1/2 inch 17mm socket and the little piece you need. And now you should be able to get a 17mm wrench, slide it up on the drain plug, and get it off. So go ahead and get under there. So right here is your drain plug. This is under by your exhaust, front of the engine. This is on the passenger side. 14mm. That's your fill plug. So we're gonna come down here to the drain plug. You take a little piece, you pound it out of your Harbor Freight, and you're gonna want to get up in there. If I get my hand in it, just like that, fits perfectly, and still got enough room. You take your 17, or in my case, I can find it, so I'm using my 11/16 socket, my gear wrench. Let's get it on there, and you can turn it. And mine turns pretty damn easy, which is kind of concerning, but it's not leaking or nothing, but it literally, just like that. Now, before you take this off, go ahead, get your wrench. Make sure, always do this for any fluid. Before you drain it, make sure you can add fluid before you drain, because once your fluid's out, it's out. It ain't going back in there. Yep, this one's tight. I'm gonna go ahead and get this loosened up, but I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got it loosened up. Now before you take your drain plugs out, also make sure there's no debris around it, like mud caked up or something. You do not want that going back in your transmission. So go ahead, remove your fill plug, and remove your drain plug, and let it drain out into the pan. I'm gonna go grab a pan really quick. I'll be right back. Also, another thing you might want to do, get some tin foil to put under here on your exhaust, so that way you don't drip a bunch of oil onto your exhaust. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that all set up here, because I highly doubt that y'all gonna be one driving around and then smell burning fluids. We'll go ahead and get that on there nice and good. Don't want it dripping on this. Take out your fill plug all the way. It'll stop it from splashing everywhere, because it'll let the air come in. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've ever tried putting gas in a lawnmower with the gas cans that don't have the hole in them. But alright, now you can go ahead and carefully remove this drain, and just like that, it's all over the ground. Don't do it how I did. Make sure your oil pan is where it's supposed to be. I gotta clean this up. I'll be back in a second. It just puked everywhere. Also, on these drain plugs, there is a magnet. As you can see, it's very useful. I don't know what the previous owner did with my Jeep. I don't even know if they serviced it. So definitely service your transmission if you got a 6-speed. Every 20,000 miles you should be doing this, so your stuff doesn't end up looking like this. Spiky metallic. This is just metallic shavings. There's no chunks of metal in there, so that's nice. So you're gonna want to wipe this off very good, clean it up, make sure there's nothing on it. I'm gonna go grab some napkins and I'll do that now. Go ahead and clean it down until it looks like this, and then I take my air gun, blow out all the threads, make sure they're clean. Also, you're gonna probably want to use some nylon sealer for the threads, just in case. I'm going to, but good way to clean up your mess. Bunch of cat litter. That's the cheapest and easiest way, besides using a gallon of brake cleaner. But yeah. So you want to get some thread tape on there. Same with your fill plug. I believe they get torqued to like 25 or something. Don't take my word for that. But I'm not going to torque them because obviously you can't get a torque wrench in there. But I will tighten them down enough so they're not going to go anywhere. And then also, a really good thing to use here. Harbor Freight sells these. Gear oil and fluid pump. It's a lot easier to use. Stick it in the container. Pump your oil in. Now this will use, I believe, 1.6 quarts of MTF. I mean, it's up to you really what fluid you use, but I'm going with Mopar. This is what I'm using, Mopar NSG 370 manual transmission lubricant. You can pick this up from just about any Chrysler dealership. Just go to their parts and service counter. They should have that in stock. And you can use, I believe, MTL 90. I've heard guys run that and Redline, some other stuff. But me personally, I like using factory stuff because in these transmissions, they have brass synchronizers, and I guess this fluid's supposed to help with that and whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead, get some thread lock on that. Not thread locker, but sealant. And then I'll show you guys how to fill it up. Alright guys, now what I went ahead and done is you have to cut the top off a little bit of these containers because that pump don't fit in there too well. But go ahead, get that all cut off. And then right up there, hopefully you guys can see, is the filler. Now all you're gonna do, give me a second here. You're gonna wanna fill it up. It only takes 1.6 quarts, so get 2 quarts of Mopar factory stuff. So you're just gonna wanna go ahead. Look at that fill hole. I don't think you guys can see it, but be very careful. Make sure you don't knock it over since there's no top on it. Get your pump in there. You're just gonna fill it up until the fluid pours back out. And it takes